Kurt Busch hounded Rusty for the lead. You see Rusty coming up on a big pack of lap traffic here. Busch has a look. Look at that cluster up ahead.
Yeah, what I've been noticing about Rusty, Larry, is he's getting a little loose off, which is going to cause him to have to backpedal just a little bit up out of the corner. So I think that's what's happened to him.
That got Kurt Busch the lead. Time now for the Pepsi fan cam. A sudden but windswept day.
Man, Rusty just about spun out, y'all.
He's going to lose second place to Mark.
His car's gotten really bad loose. I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to jump on you like that, but he turned it plumb sideways. His car's gotten loose off, and he just about spun that thing out.
Trying to get back around Martin and retake second spot. Let's show you what happens.
You'll see why I jumped on you. Watch this. He's coming here. He's coming under the 41. Right about there. Oh, that baby did a number on him.
And he tried to turn it down to go under Casey Mears in the 41. That's when it got loose with him. Pinched it down. He's went back by Mark Martin to get back into second place.
That's
now.
it, bud. Take a deep breath. Get back in your rhythm.
Rusty Spotter just telling him, hey, shake it off. Let's go. Find that groove again.
And they've now fallen a second and a half behind Kurt Busch.
Larry and Darrell, from what I can figure right now, these guys are about 20 laps when they should be starting making their normal pit stops. So it'll be real interesting to see how much more they drop off and how this separation kind of comes about. Because, as you're saying, Rusty needs tires, and he's just about going to have to come get them pretty soon.
Now lapping has begun. You saw them get past Casey Mears. Joe Nemechek is next ahead. Then Jerry Nadeau, Terry Labonte, Kevin Harvick.
Hey, Jeff. I'll tell you something. OTIDE's looking pretty good, too. He's rolled up there right behind Mark Martin, and he's coming on pretty strong here at the end of a long run.
Well, Jeff and Darrell, I've been sitting up here, if you can believe this, with my calculator doing some figuring. And we're all went back racing at 177, so we can run about 70 laps 3 times to get to the end of the race, should it stay green. And you know what? Rockingham, this part of the race, always has that nature of long green runs. So I'm going to run you 70, 70, and 70 should we stay green, Jeff.
Well, we must be on the same wavelength right now, Larry. That's exactly what I've been coming up with here, figuring 70, 70. That would be a good number right now to try to work toward. But I think it's going to be real critical for these guys to make these adjustments based off of this run toward the end and let the driver kind of take care of the tires in the first part of a run, because at the tail end of a run, you're going to lose the most amount of time.
230 laps as Kurt Busch tries to get past Kenny Wallace, who was already 3 laps back after his spin and crash on the back straightaway.
And right now, 2 seconds behind Kurt Busch, Rusty Wallace, he's having a heck of a time with Casey Mears in the 41 car. He just can't quite get by him. And meanwhile, Ricky Craven has caught Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace while they've been fighting Casey Mears in the 41 car.
Of the top 14 cars, they're all quicker than second place Rusty Wallace right now on that last lap.
Yeah, Rusty's really getting aggravated with the 41 car. I mean, he's trying to put him a lap down, and he really held him up.
But you know the thing about it, Casey's already a lap down because Kurt Busch put him a lap down.
Yeah, but if you look on the back of his car, he's a rookie. And he's racing for everybody just like he was leading the race.
Pit stops have begun. Kyle Petty, John Andretti, Tony Raines, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. have all been on pit road.
And if you notice, the guys that are pitting, they're the guys that are lapped down. What their hopes are is it stays green and they get the advantage of those fresh tires a lot longer than the guys that's up there leading the race. Maybe they'll get their lap made up.
I really like the way that Ricky Craven is coming on here at the end of this long run, Larry. That could really be big as we go into this latter part of this race, latter part of the race here. Craven's really working.
Yep, slices right past Rusty. That's second place. And Dale Jarrett has closed right up on that pack.
Yeah, he's in 5th place now, so they definitely have got that car tightened up. We were talking earlier, his car was loose in the beginning of this race. But I think also they've made some adjustments, but I think this racetrack is getting tighter too.
Well, and that could be Rusty's problem. I mean, Rusty has been the dominant car, but from about 2/3 to the end of this race, this track goes through a huge transition, and you've got to make adjustments to keep up with it.
Pit stops in about 13 laps for most of the cars. And we'll show you Rusty Wallace's lap times at approximately 10 lap intervals, and you see how they have climbed half a second or so.
And see, right now the crew chief's telling Rusty is hang on a few more laps. We need to get to 70 laps so we can do what Larry said. But he's probably squealing right now because everybody's going by him.
Dick Berggren's in Rusty's pit
with Billy Wilburn, the crew chief. Billy, what's wrong with that car?
Well, we're just a little loose right now. We've run a little longer than we've run all day. We're probably going to pit here in about 15 laps, get some tires, make an adjustment, put some wedge in it, maybe a tire pressure adjustment also.
Okay, cars look good until this point, Mike.
Thanks, Dick. Kurt Busch laps past 25 of Joe Nemechek, and that will leave us 29 cars on the lead lap.
And one thing that Rusty has to be real careful of, and Bill too, is that they don't over adjust their car when they come down pit road.
Looking out the back of Kevin Harvick in the 29 car, he's about to go a lap down. His job right now is to stay on the lead lap. Kurt Busch is letting him know, hey, I'm faster than you. I'm going to go by you on the outside. And Kevin Harvick, that's good strategy. Go a lap down, come to pit road, get your 4 fresh tires, get the advantage of those 4 fresh tires.
So green flag pit stops have begun as we follow Kevin Harvick down pit road. Kurt Busch leads Ricky Craven by 2.8 seconds. Then DJ, Mark, and Matt. Rusty Wallace has slid to 6th. Then pole sitter Dave Blaney, Jamie McMurray, Jeff Gordon, and Jimmy Johnson. The Subway 400 on Fox is brought to you by Chevrolet. Wherever there's a winner's circle, we'll be there. And by Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. Advance Auto Parts. 245 laps complete. Kurt Busch the leader.
12 to the pit road.
Dale Jarrett racing Ricky Craven. Bobby Labonte goes past them with fresh tires.
And I tell you, Bobby Labonte's got a good race car. What he's trying to do is get as close to those leaders as he can. Remember, he's a lap down from having to come to pit road to pit for a flat tire. In the perfect world, the leaders pit, Daryl, you were talking earlier, and he gets a caution and gets his lap made up.
Yeah, he's got about 10 or so laps to play with. In that window, if he could get a caution, he'd be right back in this race. And he's definitely got a fast car, and 12 is in the pits.
DW, 2 stops ago, Ryan Newman's team, they changed the air pressures. His car went from loose to extremely loose. What they've done, they've gone back to the same pressure settings that Rusty Wallace has been running most of the race. They're hoping that corrects that very, very loose race car on the 12.
Robbie Gordon in the 31 car, he's on pit road.
And Terry Labonte as well. So green flag stops, the first set we've seen today. Robbie Gordon in. Now he had already gone a lap down. Jack Van carrying our Fox crew cam around to the left side.
Boy, this is a neat shot. Josh Yost, their Jack man. That happens in a hurry.
Jeff Burton is in, and so is Michael Waltrip. Burton had been racing for 19 with Jimmy Spencer and Kenny Schrader. Ricky Rudd was part of that battle.
Ricky had worked his way up in the top 15.
A little damage to the right rear on Rudd's car.
If you notice, the cars that's making the pit stops first, and as Jimmy Spencer in the 7 car comes to pit road as well, is cars that were running kind of back in the pack. Again, they're trying to get the advantage of those fresh tires before the leaders come to pit road.
Dick Berggren.
Rusty Wallace has just radioed to his crew that the car is getting much, much worse. He said he barely can hang on to it. Billy Wilburn, his crew chief, said, you hang on to it. We need 10 more laps. We'll see if he can hang on that long, Mike.
Oh, boy, he's already slid to 8th place.
Yeah, and that was what I was saying earlier about Mark and Rusty. Rusty is going to be wanting to come to the pit earlier than Mark, but we'll see how it plays out.
Jack Sprague in the 0, Bill Elliott in the 9, Jeff Green all to pit road for 4 tires adjustments.
Larry Foyt, Kenny Wallace, who are not on the lead lap, both making stops. These are scheduled green flag stops.
This is when you don't really care how fast you're going right now. You're in that 10-lap window where you've got to stay out there for fuel mileage and thinking about the end of the race. You're racing, your numbers right now got to match up so you get to the end.
Greg Biffle is in as well. Biffle, the Busch Series champion, Winston Cup rookie.
comes Tony Stewart down pit road.
Kenny Schrader.
And this will greatly shuffle the field. You see that tape on Tony's left front fender.
Here comes
he ran
Mark.
to the back of Kyle Petty while trying to dodge a spinning Earnhardt Jr.
Here comes Mark.
Mark Martin, one of 5 drivers to lead this race, is on pit road.
And he's the first to come. Trust me, it won't be but 2 or 3 laps. The rest of those guys in the top 10, they'll be there with him.
Really surprised me. I thought he would stay out. His car was handling pretty good, but Matt, what's it looking like?
Well, DW, Mark Martin's coming in. Look for, yeah, you can see the wrench going in the back window. Mark Martin's car just not to his liking, and they kept telling him, new cars on the outside, new tires on the inside, new tires outside. So finally, they just decided to give up the ghost and come in and get some fresh tires. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett, he's been making a run 6 times. He has finished 2nd or better here. His new crew chief, Brad Parrott, a number of wins as a car chief, and through the years, also part of Richard Petty's 200th win, looking for his first win as the crew chief, making air pressure adjustment in the left rear of the 88. To Dick.
Rusty Wallace is on his way down pit road, and he's going to change the track bar, put around the wedge and an air pressure. They're throwing a whole bunch of stuff at this car to try and tighten it up. 38. Elliott Sadler also in. Kurt Busch is on his way in.
Dave Blaney was in, Johnny Benson, Steve Park, Jerry Nadeau, and the leader, Kurt Busch. Now on pit road, along with Ricky Craven and Jamie McMurray, all on pit road. Dick?
Both sides of the back end of that car trying to tighten it up. Wallace had led the majority at this event until it just went away. Matt.
Over the past 6 races, Kurt Busch, the most productive driver dating back to last year. No adjustments on this Scott is Scott Radel. Ready to drop that jack to Steve.
Matt Kenseth, he's got a new front tire changer this year, Matt. Justin Nottestead on the front tires. They'll make a slight air pressure adjustment, 1/4 pound out of the right rear. The 17 car was almost as fast as the leaders late in that run. 4 tires for Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth had picked up the lead and led 2 laps. This should put Sterling Marlin in front.
And Bobby Labonte in the 18 car, he came on the pit road. He went ahead and decided, hey, my car's good. I'm going to stay in sync with these guys. There you see him getting 4 fresh tires. Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car, he's to pit road.
Something not right there, because Johnson came around turn 4 on the apron. He didn't sweep down off the banking like the other cars have been doing.
I think it was traffic. I think he had some people right behind him, Mike. It looked like he was needing to get down out of their way. And the thing about Labonte, he drove up a half a lap on these cats. So if his car's that good, he wants to stay with them. Right now, he's right there with Kurt Busch.
And Sterling Marlin has not yet pitted.
And I mean, right now he's giving up 2 seconds a lap, because what happens, he can't maneuver his race car. These cars are catching him with those fresh tires. You can't get out of the way fast enough.
Don't you think, though, Larry, that maybe they're trying to do that fuel thing, get in a window where they can make it on 1 more stop?
But I tell you, Darrell, you know that just almost, I mean, just look at Dale Jarrett drive away from him. I think we're going to see him on pit road right there. There it is. He's past his window, and he knows it because he's on pit road now for 4 tires.
Steve Burns waiting on Sterling.
On the last stop, they had handling problems. They're one of the best cars early in the race, but they took 2 rounds of wedge out and changed air pressure on the left side. This time, they think they finally have the car the way they want it. They'll make a chassis adjustment to the right rear of Sterling's number 40. They take a tearaway off the windshield. Jerry Schweitz pumps the gas in for the number 40 of Sterling Marlin. Service is done, and Sterling is headed down pit road.
And now we'll find out who made the right adjustment and who's quick after stops.
It's all said and done. Kurt Busch in the 97 car, he's back in the lead, but the real winner on this is Dale Jarrett in the 88. And the reason he's moved up to 2nd, he was one of the first of the leaders to pit, got advantage of those fresh tires earlier.
So Kurt Busch reassumes the lead at lap 261 of the Subway 400 on Fox.